Welcome to this explainer. Today, we are looking at a single moment where academia, multi-billion-dollar business, and the absolute future of artificial intelligence all collided right on a university stage. We're talking May 10th, 2026. What looked like a totally standard graduation ceremony actually revealed a massive, seismic shift in the global AI hardware supply chain. It's a crazy story of unexpected alliances, manufacturing bottlenecks, and the sheer physical scale of the AI revolution. So let's just dive right in.
Just to give you a quick roadmap of where we're headed in this explainer, we'll kick things off at that Carnegie Mellon graduation, then we'll unpack this massive multi-billion-dollar alliance between Intel and NVIDIA. After that, we'll break down the exact foundry bottlenecks they're trying to solve, zoom out to look at the massive physical infrastructure build-out of AI, and finally, we're going to tackle those wild Intel buyout rumors that have been flying around.
All right, Part 1, the Carnegie Mellon ceremony.
Now, you got to understand, Carnegie Mellon isn't just any university. It's pretty much universally recognized as the absolute birthplace of AI. I mean, way back in 1955, Herbert Simon and Alan Newell created the logic theorist there, literally the first artificial intelligence program ever. Fast forward a bit, and they launched the world's first robotics PhD program in '88 and the very first AI undergrad major in 2018. So when the tech industry wants to make a giant symbolic statement about where AI is heading, this campus is quite literally the ultimate stage.
And wow, what a statement they made. At this ceremony, NVIDIA's founder and CEO Jensen Huang was getting an honorary Doctor of Science and Technology degree. But here's the kicker. The person who actually performed the hooding ceremony was Lip-Bu Tan, the CEO of Intel. And right after the event, Tan posts this quote online, publicly congratulating Huang. But then he just drops an absolute bombshell at the very end. He casually confirms that they are working together on exciting new products. He essentially used this highly prestigious academic tradition as a Trojan horse just to tease a massive corporate collaboration.
This brilliantly illustrates why this specific moment is just so critical. You see, historically, NVIDIA and Intel have been absolutely fierce competitors in the semiconductor space. So for the CEO of Intel to physically place a doctoral hood on the CEO of NVIDIA while simultaneously teasing brand new products, it's a breathtaking visual. It's not just some nice PR photo op. This is a massive signaling event, broadcast to the entire tech world, telling us that the old rules of silicon rivalry are totally shifting.
Which brings us to Part 2, Intel and NVIDIA's new alliance.
$5 billion. That is the staggering scale of NVIDIA's recent investment into Intel. Let that sink in. This isn't just some casual, friendly partnership. This is a heavy, multi-billion-dollar bet that's targeting both massive data centers and everyday consumer platforms.
Based on all the industry reports, this alliance is building out across two major fronts. Over in the data center world, rumors are strongly pointing to custom Intel Xeon CPUs being integrated directly with NVIDIA's highly proprietary NVLink technology. Guys, that is just massive for server infrastructure. And then, on the consumer front, we're looking at NVIDIA's RTX GPU architecture getting baked right into next-generation Intel systems on a chip. The first one of these is rumored to be codenamed Serpent Lake, and we're expecting it to hit the market around 2028 or 2029. They are physically meshing their best technologies together.
So why are they doing this? Let's look at Part 3, the foundry bottleneck solution.
To really get why this is happening, we need to quickly demystify some engineering jargon. Let's talk about CoWoS. That stands for Chip on Wafer on Substrate. In simple terms, as these AI chips get insanely complex, you can't just make one flat chip anymore. You have to tightly stack and connect different components together, kind of like a high-tech microscopic sandwich, just to get the crazy high performance that AI demands. CoWoS is the advanced packaging technology that makes all that complex stacking possible.
And honestly, this specific packaging requirement is exactly why NVIDIA has a massive headache right now. Historically, NVIDIA has relied heavily on TSMC over in Taiwan to manufacture their chips, but TSMC has hit a serious bottleneck. They literally cannot meet the sheer volume of wafer orders NVIDIA is demanding, and that's largely because they're completely constrained by their CoWoS packaging capacity. They just can't package them fast enough. So enter Intel's foundry business. Intel has been securing all these new deals, like with Apple, and crucially, they offer their very own advanced packaging solution called EMIB. Basically, Intel is stepping up as a highly credible, high-volume alternative to clear the traffic jam.
So, what does this mean in practical terms? Well, current industry chatter is strongly suggesting that NVIDIA's next-generation Feynman GPUs might actually harness Intel's EMIB packaging to totally bypass that TSMC bottleneck. On top of that, we're hearing that Intel's ultra-advanced 18AP or even 14A manufacturing nodes, which dictate exactly how microscopically small and efficient these chips can get, could be utilized for production. There is even a very real possibility that upcoming entry to mid-tier NVIDIA gaming GPUs will be manufactured completely inside Intel fabs. It's a completely pragmatic solution to a massive supply chain traffic jam.
Moving on to Part 4, AI's physical infrastructure build-out.
$5.1 trillion. As of May 2026, that was NVIDIA's market capitalization. So, when Jensen Huang stands on a stage and makes predictions about the future of our technology, he is doing so with the sheer weight of the most valuable company in the world right behind him. His words literally dictate global markets.
And what he told those graduates at CMU is just fascinating. He made the argument that we really shouldn't just think of AI as a software revolution. It's an industrial-scale infrastructure build-out. To make AI actually work at scale, the world doesn't just need more machine learning researchers typing on laptops. It desperately needs construction workers, factory operators, and field engineers to physically go out and build new chip fabs and massive data centers. Ultimately, he argues, this heavy physical infrastructure is what will close the technology divide, finally making advanced computing accessible to people who have never had it before.
Let's connect the dots here on why this physical build-out is so incredibly urgent and complex right now. Just consider the sheer mind-boggling demand. Meta alone expects to spend up to $65 billion this year just on AI infrastructure. $65 billion. Couple that insane demand with complex geopolitics. The US has actually divided the world into strict export tiers for AI chips. Tier 1 is unrestricted, Tier 2 is restricted to certain computing power limits, and Tier 3 is under a complete flat-out arms embargo. So to meet that massive global demand while navigating all these intense restrictions, companies like NVIDIA absolutely must secure diverse global fabrication partnerships, and that is exactly why they need Intel.
Finally, let's wrap up with Part 5, addressing the buyout rumors.
So there have been these totally wild reports circulating lately that TSMC, AMD, and Broadcom were forming this super consortium to outright buy Intel's manufacturing operations, and that NVIDIA was somehow involved in the plot. Well, when Jensen Huang was asked directly about this at a recent developer conference, he completely deployed his trademark wit. He just simply stated, "Nobody invited me. There might be a party, but I wasn't invited."
So the absolutely crucial takeaway here is focusing on reality over the rumor mill. As our sources have clarified, the NVIDIA-Intel deal is a $5 billion manufacturing and code development arrangement. That's it. It's a strategic hedge for NVIDIA to ensure they actually have chips to sell, and it serves as a massive public validation for Intel's foundry business. It is strictly not an acquisition.
Which leaves us with this final thought. We started with a simple handshake on a stage at Carnegie Mellon, and we ended up navigating a $5 trillion global supply chain restructuring. As these massive physical hardware shifts occur, and these totally unlikely alliances are forged just to keep up with the sheer demand for computing power, what does this shifting silicon landscape truly mean for the future of the technology divide? Will this giant industrial build-out actually democratize AI for everyone, or will it just consolidate power among the very few who own the factories? It's definitely something to think deeply about. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer today, and keep learning.